asking your this once it is released. I'm doing a full deep dive into the film once all the behind the scenes, the commentaries, and the Blu-ray is released, I promise. But dude, this is it. You know how I'm always complaining or raving hyperbolically, aiming for poetically, but coming off pretentiously about how too many superhero flicks feel voiceless, feel like studio notes overtake the directorial vision? This is not the case with Matt Reeves' The Batman. The Batman is what
I do agree that like I've rewatched the whole entire MCU like 3 times now, and there are some movies that I just get like people like those movies. I just get so bored of them and I just don't like them. And I think the only movies that I would definitely like watch is obviously the original Avengers, Iron Man 1, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, all the Spider-Man movies, Avengers, Infinity War and Endgame. Even Endgame not that much, more Infinity War. And then Spider-Man. Shang-Chi, no, Eternal. Yeah, these are like the only movies where I rewatch them. But after that, none of the other movies are like worth rewatching for me anymore. Thor Ragnarok maybe, but I just don't like how long.
He's wanting a fresh but beautifully loving adaptation of a character that means so much to so many people. A character that I would not be here today without. A film that feels crafted by hand, built from the ground up by artists with a shared love. A film that's more Hitchcock, more Chinatown, The Conversation than a crowd-pleasing superhero comedy. The Batman feels like the perfect adaptation of the tone, the grime, the empathy of Batman Year One.
Like, I like, by the way, this is me being Hamza and trying to be philosophical and psychological here, because I am taking psychology and I might pursue it. Irrelevant information. Anyways, it's so interesting to me that how he doesn't like Tom Holland's Spider-Man, or at least he doesn't like the movies, but I think they're the best movies. I would say Andrew Garfield, obviously the worst. Like, come on now, like he's a great actor, bad script, which made the movies completely unwatchable. I would never rewatch those movies. But these two, the Spider-Man, like Tom Holland movies, especially Homecoming and Far From Home, I love those movies, and he just doesn't like them at all, and he doesn't even like Endgame, which I do agree with some of the points. But I do love Endgame for what it is. It was like a finale of all the 13 years of build-up. Like, I disagree with him on so many things about movies and comic book heroes and all of that. And yet when I watch his Daredevil videos, or when I watch especially this video so far, I'm agreeing with it. It's crazy to think that we can have a completely opposite opinion on something else, but then have a completely same opinion on a different thing. Where you think, and that's why whenever I disagree with someone on one thing, especially like the first time meeting them, I don't immediately be like, oh yeah, this person and I cannot get along. Because you never know, you might agree on some things, and that's what makes it so amazing. And right now, I am agreeing with Hitop that the Batman is a fucking masterpiece and the best Batman movie out there right now.
It's year 2 in Bruce's Gotham experiment. It drops you smack dab in the middle of this hellhole with this masked, broken child leading us, guiding us through the muck. Robert Pattinson is the Batman, my Batman, the Batman.
My Batman, the Batman.
Always.
At least this time he's not blinded by, because he loves Tobey Maguire's movies to a next level, and I think that's the nostalgia factor does come into play. When I saw the Tobey Maguire movies as a child, and when I saw TASM 1, I was like, no matter what Spider-Man actor they bring out now, I will never like them as Tobey Maguire. And then obviously I saw Tom Holland's Civil War, I got excited that he might be able to compete. Then I saw Homecoming, I'm like, he's up there. Then I saw Far From Home, I'm like, yeah, he's exceeding. Then I saw No Way Home. It's not debate now, because right now Tom Holland is the most comically accurate Spider-Man. I don't read that much of the DC comics, but from the ones I've read, mostly are about Superman. I've read some Batman ones, and most of the time, I've read around 60 to 70% of all Spider-Man comics, and that's a lot. That's around more than 10,000 different issues of a comic, and mostly related to the Peter Parker, the main timeline, not like the Miles Morales or Peter B. Parker or different versions. Obviously, there are some versions, and I cannot keep the timeline in my head. I'm tired. And I just think Tom Holland's the best. Why am I going on a Spider-Man rant and a Batman? I'm sorry. I just get ADHD things. Anyways, Batman's a masterpiece. Everyone should watch it.
Is long to see adapted into live action. I genuinely, truly, without a doubt in me, believe that he is now right alongside Christopher Reeve in terms of embodying everything I've always adored about the character. His Bruce Wayne is so broken, so unable to connect with the world.
I love how Bruce Wayne in this movie is actually depressed. Like, in my main problem with the Dark Knight trilogy is that Bruce Wayne feels completely opposite to the Batman. It's like it's like there's something in the mask rather inside the soul, which people might think, well, what's the difference? But the difference here is that when you watch, okay, I'm gonna use Daredevil as an example. When you watch Daredevil, when Matt Murdock doesn't have his black mask or the red suit on, he still has that part in him where it's like, I'm gonna beat the shit out of Wilson Fisk. I'm gonna do something, and I'm really angry. And you can kind of see like the Daredevil side of him coming out into Matt Murdock. Whereas in the other movies, the Batman side doesn't really come out to the Bruce Wayne kind of thing, you know? Like, Bruce Wayne doesn't really feel like Batman. He doesn't feel broken inside. He just seems super happy, which obviously can be a form of depression. But they don't really talk about that. Like, you know, when you have someone has depression, they might seem super happy, super calm, amazing, happy with life, and then as soon as they're alone, they're in the dark, the inside of them comes out. But then in those movies, you don't even get like a glimpse of Bruce Wayne's like Batman, the dark, the vengeance side coming out of him. Maybe because the origin story and like the way those movies were directed was obviously very different. But I do love Robert Pattinson's broken version of Bruce Wayne because it's just that good.
And that is shown to us in every framing choice, in every single cut. Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson give such care to truly crafting a broken young man unable to grow up, a broken kid crippled by pain, who never needs to tell us how unable to live, unable to love he is, but instead shows us in every glance, his
eyes, in the Batman suit, his eyes unmasked, the emotion, without even talking, we know what he's thinking, which is a core part of the movie. It's, you know, you did a fucking amazing job at the movie, at directing the scene, and the actor does an amazing job. When you can only see their eyes and mouth, and you just know exactly what they are thinking, exactly what they are feeling, and oh, that just made me nuts.
Moment, every twitch. Guys, this might be my favorite lead performance in a superhero property ever. It's subtle, unannounced. It's what isn't said, what can't be said, that makes this Batman, this Bruce Wayne, so compelling to me. We never see Thomas and Martha die here, but the impact that trauma had on our hero is...
Yeah, another thing I really like, we didn't need an origin story. It kind of did what Homecoming did. We didn't need an origin story. We just got right in to his life where Uncle Ben wasn't there. He's already Spider-Man. He's already bitten by Spider-Man. He's already well known by the neighborhood. Kind of like how in this movie it starts off with all the criminals being scared of the Batman.
It's visually conveyed in every single moment. Every single choice Reeves and Pattinson are making behind and in front of the camera. It's the long stares at a young boy who just lost his father that tells us all we need to know. It's the subtle ease when Selina is around. It's the slight voice change when he's worried about Alfred, afraid that Gordon has betrayed him, terrified that he is and will always be alone. This Bruce Wayne is nothing without Batman. It's the only answer for him. Take Batman away and you're left with that child who has not in any way, shape, or form figured out how to exist in the world. When he's forced to be in public, when he's shoved in front of Falcone's door without the suit, without his armor, his wall between himself and the world, he can barely make eye contact. He can barely speak. It's haunting, heartbreaking, tragic. Bruce would rather the people, his people, be unnerved by him, be terrified of him, than the slight chance that maybe someday, if he takes off the mask, if he shows them his pain, they might care for him, and he might have to love again.
I fucking love this breakdown.
But he wants so badly, he needs so badly to communicate his affection towards Selena, to express his love and appreciation to Jim Gordon, to allow himself to trust them, to tell them how much they mean to him. But all this Bruce Wayne can do is watch from afar. Control the way he sees the world through hidden camera contact lenses that can identify someone's name, their profession. He would rather see life through those, know every detail, study it, than actually live in it. In a way, from the first frame to the last, The Batman is about those who feel they can only watch. Bruce, the Riddler, Selena, Oz, and by extension us are always watching this world, watching our lives through broken glass, searching for anything to fix our cracks, wanting to be a part of a world that you feel rejected.
Look at the way he's just grasped me in. I love how he talks. Like, I gotta give it to Hitop. Like, the way he talks about movies shows that he might even have, like, he probably does have a higher passion than me. And obviously, I'm 17. Maybe this passion will grow on and I'll be able to talk about movies the way he does. But the way he talks about the movie is so fucking good.
Did you that you feel hurt you? Broken orphans lashing out at a world that they feel will never understand their pain, and being unable to look in the mirror for fear of what they might see. The Batman is dark, broody, angsty, which, if you know me, is just everything I need. Greg Fraser's cinematography is gorgeous, having more in common with Hitchcock meets David Mazzucchelli meets Black Paper drawn animated series than the CG low-contrast previs we've become so numb to. My boy Michael's score is the perfect mix of gothic edge, pulsating echoes, but classically tragic noir. Everyone shows up. Every single cast and crew member delivers what feels like a passion project. Passion project that ignites
every single character. When I tell you every single character in this movie does a fucking amazing job.
It's my hope that superhero movies can have something to say that ignites the flair for why I started making YouTube videos about these characters and movies I love. For me, The Batman is right up there alongside Spider-Man 2, Superman 78, Mask of the Phantasm, and Netflix's Daredevil.
Batman is up there with Daredevil. That I can tell. I think Daredevil is a better story than any comic book show or movie. I feel like it's Daredevil, Batman, Spider-Verse, Spectacular Spider-Man, Superman, the animated series, like the one like in the 90s, and I think that should be it. That's my list. I think these are the top 5 story-written best shows. What else? Yeah, I can't really think of anything that good.
Matt Reeves isn't crafting an entry in the DC extended universe. This feels like the first chapter in his Batman universe. The start of the next genre-defining series of blockbusters that a decade, 20, 30, 40 years from now will all look back to as the king of what these movies can and should be.
Yes.
Not embarrassed of the camp.
Set a higher standard.
Entirely sincere in its approach and not afraid of challenging the staples that first bound the detective comic pages together. I can't wait to talk.
I loved how he uses detectiveness in the movies.
About this movie once we've all had time to sit with it. I can't wait to deep dive into this world as soon as possible. Analyze every frame and choice, every bit of subtext and symbolism. The universe crafted here is so rich, the characters so lit.
Gotham, the world building, the detective, every single character. It's just, I can't find a single flaw with this movie. Holy shit. You know how difficult that is? Like, I can find a flaw in like every movie I see. This Batman movie is so hard for me to find a flaw in it. Maybe the fact that this is a spoiler. So like forward like 15 seconds in. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Forward 15 seconds now. Maybe when the butler survived the bomb, he was supposed to be dead, but he lived. That's my only complaint. That's it. And I don't know if 15 seconds have passed. So we're just waiting for the 15 seconds to pass. I think they might have passed by now, yeah.
Layered. Just yes, dude. Fuck yeah, man. This is it. And what's beautiful, what's so meaningful to me here, is the fact that all of this, stripped to the core, the world Matt Reeves built, the Gotham he translated, the Bruce he birthed, it's all so empathetic. Matt Reeves has such a tangible grasp, a tender touch for those in pain, those angry, those scarred. He never looks at Bruce, shows us Selina, scares us with Edward, makes us laugh with Oz by apathetically judging them. He is always empathetically looking within them. The city is angry, scarred, like me. Some actions are irredeemable, but maybe if we can understand them, understand what fuels the fire of vengeance, we can try to help heal the burn. Even if he can never tell his characters, these characters we have loved for over 80 years, that everything's gonna be okay. Even if they can't comfortably touch, can't fully love, can't find peace within themselves, Matt Reeves believes that the freaks, the tormented, the broken, like his Bruce Wayne, can find a way to grow, to overcome, find a way to inspire those of us who also feel a little different, who feel alone in the dark, who desperately needed and need a bit of light to guide them, to save them. Those of us who will always need a little bit of hope.
That was fucking amazing. Yeah, I just love the movie. Watch it, guys.